Because they told me earlier on, in fact, they told me 15 minutes.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
No? Well, it just depends on how many of us there are.
Because what
Probably
happens is that, like,
93.
you know, they have, because the stations are running into the other station, so they're keeping the next station back.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because everything's been just going overtime, people have been getting, stressed and this is nice and fun.
Yeah. Then it will
We're all in the zone. We like it. Lots of things. As I say, I'm not going to go into the background or the I've got a session on Thursday where I've got an hour called How to Toss Your Boss and get work last night. So in other words, work for yourself.
Yeah, work for
Right,
yourself.
okay. So that's my, and I'm the only speaker on that. No one else onto that topic, so that's good. So, but I've got the best ways of summarising it is about micro-learning, using the coach, Steve Gaff. And then my value system is about giving back. So that's the macro. Steve is the macro. Spearhead foundation. It's a foundation that's bringing free power and water to roads. So it's about the water that I'm speaking of today and how
I'm actually pretty practicing.
yes.
And last year, I signed a collaboration with a friend of mine who's Italian for renewable construction material, which is zero waste, zero petrochemical, zero water,
all this.
and zero transport costs. They just have a whole network of transporters and we supply compact transport system, no plastics, no chemicals.
Well, now, you were speaking to me, weren't you? There was one event where that was on at the same time as one event. Or maybe it was last night.
But you know,
I couldn't
need
So when are we doing this one? Because this would be an interesting one too.
when is it being done?
Is this? What's this?
It's lying on the table.
Yeah. There's one here.
Yeah, you can take it.
You can take this one. Yeah. But no, maybe it was last night. It was 3:45 to 4:45. You speaking in this one, the pioneering system of generating big.
So yesterday I was still trying to figure out when I'm coming, where I'm coming.
Oh, okay. Because I was so torn between going to the one about helping climate change and that one. Because I want to listen.
But I will tell you because I will put you in touch with Angelina who's supposed to be coming. She's friend of mine who's working, and she is a scientist. And you know how it started for her was she was pregnant and she realized in the house that she was staying, the fuse and the baby and everything was chemical. She says, no, we need to change. We need to work something which is totally.
This is so
And
important.
so she's given her life to working, and she has these paints, she has complete construction material, which is completely made from the end products of agriculture, excess, without having to and then they have created stuff which goes in radiation of oceans.
Like, I'm also thinking architecture So they go around the country, teaching the innovative ways.
This will be wonderful. I looked at Daniela's car, it was too short in time where she has asked me to represent her, but I will do it.
Yes.
It has my number, and if you send me a message, I will do it.
So, chronic healing.
But this is one of the things that
I haven't seen anyone do, I haven't connected with anyone who does chronic healing for about 10 years.
really. So you've done it as well?
I haven't done it. I've been involved in it, haven't done it yet.
But I can actually write down so that
Yes, please. Doctor
Daniela, you've got it.
Manel?
Should I write it?
Yes.
Yes, Manel.
Manela?
Daniela, you've got it.
Good.
This is
Thank you.
but I'll just note down my Facebook name because
This is a challenge for women who can do so many things.
Yeah.
We just don't.
You know, I've had to pull out my cards because it's no time I don't think.
No, it's really only just to have a connection, some kind of phone number or something if I do it.
She does not speak English, but her son
Partner, my business partner, he speaks Portuguese.
No, otherwise we need English.
So that is when I'm working with teenagers and trying to innovate. Because see, everybody is into makeup. So and that is not in the beginning. You want to change the language. And like
Take your position.
Whoa,
Amitabh Bachchan.
And then we are changing the education system also from the education system. Because what happens in the rural education is not much project oriented. So we are going to vision projects at the schools also with some classroom or things like that. That's the teaching that. Like the news will be.
Okay, I actually
It's a job of pressure. It's a non-profit pressure. It's a social So where the hopes is for the holistic opportunities of public.
So we will also not create the validation lessons.
So because we are teaching them like, the students, why do they don't go to schools in the kindergarten, in the rural area? Because they don't find it anything interesting. So we're trying to change that. So if we are changing that, the way we should get it for them, like where something is they're interested in, so that we are trying about the
Who are the speakers in this room?
yeah. The two speakers have come.
I didn't know these words were very, very low. That is what it something about it. So she, children are picking up from their parents. I feel my sister.
And then she could not spell, at that time she could not spell Maggie. So then it's a big mistake.
No instant graduation. Something the parents
It's very peaceful. Because the main problem is facing the economics. And they don't understand the economics and the maths parts or all that. So many times what happens, they get the notes, they get the words, but they don't know. So we have to teach them to get the class and so they forget the business.
Put down my card, I think you need to add it.
So when you self-collapse progression. You have to feel Angelina, I'm a designer by profession, but now I'm working as a social entrepreneur in the rural India, where I'm trying to stop the migration from the rural to the urban.
Listen, so I want to migrate from the urban to the rural. Help me with that.
So that's why I'm trying to make the models, because most of the time they get the grants, the leaders are not. But then what happens, they are not good at economics. So once we get the money, they start spending somewhere else. So we're trying to make small calls and give them a mentor who will be looking after them.
Working mother is very good.
That's my microwave.
Ah.
Like one of my sister colleagues is awarded in this. And she is
Why we would job in day one that's fine. नहीं सोच सकता ना यार 9 बजे से बोला मैं भाई मुझे भी बताया 9 बजे से बताया अब तो दे अभी मैं थोड़ा भी
different kind of designs. We are into fashion, we are into corporate uniforms, school uniforms, we are making bags, we are making one bag, I have it. And basically again, so again, we are just trying to make, doing a little effort to make the world a little better by utilizing this waste and this thing.
So do you have a direction program? How do you collect your plastic?
Yeah, we do. My parent company is in China, so we have tied up with a company. So we just coordinate with them, a collection of bottles. Then we have a tie up with yarn, just mills with shape and convert bottles into plates, and the plates into yarn, and put into fabrics and then sew. And we are socially also trying to help some women, by understanding how that we run some programs where we tell them to leave our fabrics made out of these yarns.
I have a designer friend who I will connect with. She also works with
When I look at the water situation you have here,
I will
so all these plastic bottles, I'm thinking to myself, I order 10 a day in my room because I drink so much water, right? And I'm thinking, where are all these bottles going?
There is a supply chain, at least for these kind of big ones, there are,
You know what I do normally is when I go to the jail, I find half of the bottles, I normally take them like the
Just the numbers are mind-boggling about what
of plastic.
Yeah. So, I mean, I should find a photograph. I grow most of my vegetables. And so there's a sort of area where, well, I'm putting a vegetable garden in my new place that I've just moved into. But the handles are from Israel, and they're all made out of recycled plastic bags. Isn't that fun? And I recycle even the carrot peel, if I peel my carrot. So to see that's actually going into sort of an organic garden again. Good. Well, this is good.
I like to ask the son is again a very cultural. So most of the people come into farming. So they're farming very fast. So what I'm trying to do is I will have one. So what we do is we have small school college programs. Yes. Maybe we do for the people like organic ones so that we can buy it back. So that they buy and utilize it. So when we teaching them so that they don't look into the field again.
Yes, we should discuss that.
Yeah, will you just tell me what the session is? I will. Because a lot of people ask me what's the topic. But give me a brief, I'll just look for 3 years.
Yeah, this is
I take them.
So you're buying a couple of
Innovative.
basically I think it's innovation with
innovating for sustainability.
Innovation for sustainability.
Let me pull some more.
My business card is not going to. This is sort of coaching my on the Thursday I'm doing 1 hour presentation on my personal. This is now I'm going to about the foundation next week. Because there's my work and then there's my blog work.
Recently started recycling the vegetables, growing herbs and things.
Oh, yeah.
Staying at the bottom.
Thank
you so much.
We had a presenter, an Indian presenter in Australia on SBS channel. Her name was Maggie, and she wrote a book about a vegetable garden on in her apartment. And it was just amazing. She would come out of the veranda.
We started replacing the flower pots.
Yes.
I mean, it's very, very tiny. Not now.
Social
It's wonderful when you see a new
And worm farms? Have you got worm farms? I have. The other day when I was planting this vegetable garden, I was up to literally up to here in Boston. I love it. I'm so happy. Oh yes, here we go. So I started with just this plot in my backyard here. That was it. There's my bush tree coming out. These are these panels I told you about. They're so fantastic. Bags. These are all horse food. And now you should see it, what's growing out. It's just full of cabbages, broccoli, all these things already. Yeah. I think we should.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. So, yeah. Hi.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Maggie. Australia.
शुरू का जब मैं बोलूँगी तब कर दीजिएगा अभी तो टाइम कर रहे हैं ये वाली वीडियो शुरू का थोड़ा सा और एंड का थोड़ा सा शुरू का थोड़ा सा वीडियो ले लीजिए एंड का थोड़ा सा वीडियो ले लीजिए बीच में पिक्स ले लीजिए
लोग तो नहीं है
नहीं लॉग कुछ नहीं है मैंने खोल दिया
Oh, is that right?
I got checked it.
Is it right now?
No,
Or is it
it's
this afternoon at 1 o'clock?
The new this thing it has changed. There's a new one going on. Whether she went off.
What is changed? Sorry, what is that?
I'll tell you.
Highlights are changed. They're saying the main time the scene topic. Yeah, the main time.
Is that right?
Are we supposed to go there? Okay. So when we're speaking, we have to come in the center.
Yes, that's right.
I might go.
I'm going to be speaking about the foundation for clean drinking water.
My card doesn't say what I'm representing here today, but
Oh, good.
I'm representing a company which is making sure that we can.
Okay. I used to work with the Ministry
Ah, you still have connections there?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I have a startup in the gallery.
बैठो यार कहाँ घूम रहे हो यार बैठो बैठो यार कहाँ घूम रहे हो
Okay. And where are that?
कुछ नहीं यार ज़्यादा कम क्या है यार 4 तो रूम है मतलब अपने पास
We have a supply and
अभी तुझे इधर खड़ा होना होता है ना तुझे पता है वो भाई साहब आपका इतना हमारा होता है आपको तो खाली स्टील है वीडियो करके देखो भाई साहब ना मैं खैर दूंगा कोई वीडियो नहीं नीचे वाला बता रहा हूँ मैं नीचे लाना क्या उसको छोड़ना नहीं होता ना बस ये तो है छोड़ना नहीं होता ना छोड़ना ऐसा होता ना अगर कोई कैमरे में मिल जाता है अच्छा नहीं हो गया हाँ जी मालिक साहब पता है क्या एक्चुअली फिर तो कैमरा तो पकड़ लेगा हर कोई बस उसको चलाने का तरीका होना चाहिए वो बात कर रहा हूँ तो आगे हर कोई पकड़ लेता है हर कोई
All over the place. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know what I've spoken
आपको थोड़ी ना बोल रहा हूँ मैं आपको थोड़ी ना बोल रहा हूँ अच्छा
The car works.
बंदा जो बुलाता दिखाता तो तुम बनाती हो, हमारी बात तुम बना के दिखाओ, मैं
Do we have a
ग्रुप बना के दिखा। बनवा सकते हो कितने स्टील भी करता हूँ, वीडियो भी करता हूँ, दोनों भी है ना, जाके पूछ लो, स्टील भी आती है, वीडियो भी आती है, जो मर्जी करा लो, ग्रुप बनवा दूंगा, सब कुछ करवा दूंगा, शादी तो मैंने कितनी खींची है, कुछ क्या नहीं। Oops.
So this session is on innovating for sustainability and inclusive women economics. A bedrock for the fourth industrial revolution, innovation, inclusivity in developing countries. Agenda
Hello, my name is Maggie Weber. I'm here from Australia. I hope that what I'm going to share with you today is going to be appropriate to the topic. I think it will, but we'll adjust it. Okay, so a little bit about me. I can summarise myself by saying that there's micro Maggie and there's macro Maggie. So micro Maggie is a coach and a consultant and an author, and my values, everything I do is about bringing out the best in people, but also bringing out the best in our planet. And I call myself the working mother's mentor. And that's just from my own background. I've been a single mother now for the last 20 years, and I think of a comment from a man called John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and he said that a working woman today is doing her mother and her father's job, and a single working mother or single working woman, she's either a miracle worker or she's crazy. So I believe that we have this thing called a struggle with juggle going on, and so the coaching work that I do is help mothers particularly, working mothers particularly, get over this struggle with the juggle. Stop trying to be superwoman. Find some stress management techniques, etc. But to take the analogy of the working mother further, the most hard-working working mother I know is Mother Earth. She is really doing it tough right now. And so part of the work that I do at the macro Maggie is to give back to the planet. Everything that I work with has got a social entrepreneurial component to it. To me, it's not just about making a profit. You've got to look after the people, got to make a profit because there's no point in being in business if you don't, but you must look after the planet as well. And so that's what I'm here to speak about at the moment, because the other thing that I do is I'm on the advisory board of a company called Simple Drinking Water, and I'm also on the advisory board of another company called Omniflow, and the technology for that comes out of Portugal. And so we're combining those two technologies. We're funding both these companies. I'm on the board of a company where we do a lot of funding of new codes. So two of the companies of the 30 that we're funding at the moment are Omniflow and Simple Drinking Water. So let me explain how we're going to put all that together in the foundation. So we're going to have a foundation called Free Power in Water. And we're establishing that and getting all the legal documents all organised at the moment. And the whole idea of that is to empower members of communities and inspire them to start their own businesses. And we're going to bring them microloans and things as well. But we're going to combine the Simple Drinking Water and the Omniflow. So I'm going to read some details about how the technology in both those businesses work. So 1 in 10 people on the planet right now lack access to safe drinking water. 1 in 10. And that comes to 663 million people worldwide, give or take a couple. Yet, now this applies to you, 8 out of 10 of those people without access to clean drinking water live in rural areas. Okay? So the world crisis, the number one world crisis that we are facing is based on impact to society, is the water crisis, clean drinking water. And that's as a measure of devastation to the planet. So it frightens me when I hear of companies like Nestle buying a great tracts of water and making a business out of what is our right to drink clean water. So the simple drinking water system is amazing because it's really easy to install, very inexpensive to run. You don't need power to run it. So it uses nanotechnology for, it captures the different pollutants like iron, arsenic and fluoride. And it uses a combination, as I say, of nanotechnologies to remove pollutants from any form of source water. And that can be from stream to sewer. Now I checked with my guys in London, I said, really? Is it that good? He said, it wouldn't smell too good, but you could still drink it because the technology is that good. Right? So any water can go through the system and you do not need power to run it. So it's good, yep. So from stream, the byline is from stream to sewer, any form of source water can be used. And the system is able to prevent viruses, hair and bacteria from entering the drinking water and preventing the spread of any diseases and harmful microbials. So that's number one, a simple drinking water. We've got that technology. The second thing I wanted to mention is about Omniflow. Now, this isn't going to be, some of this is not going to be important in the villages, but this is what Omniflow does. So, has anyone ever been to Holland or seen the wind turbines with the three arms? They're really pretty ugly, aren't they? With all these things going on. Do you know that the trains in Holland, when I was speaking in The Hague at the end of January this year, the trains 100% run on the power from that technology. So, our technology is, again, wind turbine, but it's on a pole and it's horizontal. Yes, this way, which is actually a much more efficient way of grabbing the air and not making it work. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, but this Omniflow product features smart lighting, a public Wi-Fi hotspot, really necessary in rural areas, but still, public Wi-Fi hotspot, has a charging station, video analytics, we can do surveillance with it, we can do smart parking, we can do location analytics with it. Sorry, come in. Okay. Is this the womenomics one? Yes, it is. Oh, room number 10. I know, it's all changed around. That's okay.
What's this one supposed to be? Is it?
Women.
This is women.
Can you just mention what's the topic?
The topic is, it's such a long topic.
Innovation for sustainability.
Yeah, that'll do. Innovation for sustainability. Okay, so this Omniflow, this wind turbine thing, as I said, can do lots of other things that we don't really need in the rural areas. But there are a lot of things that it can do that we probably don't require. Web-based monitoring. It's got a built-in weather station that's under development at the moment, and it's designed to be as lean as possible. Again, connection to the grid is not necessary. And it provides a backup source of power during grid downtime. Okay. It's also possible to have a wire, get a drum here, but have a wire travelling down the pole and creating an access point at the base. And that allows for various devices. An excellent, now I want to get to the big picture of all of this. This is an excellent prospect for potential business owners to have this form of power just from the wind. You don't get all that with these ones with the 3 arms, okay? So it's the Omniflow's won a number of awards, including one from Richard Branson, which is the EDP Richard Branson Award in 2010, and about 5 other amazing awards. So let's get to the big picture out of all of this. What's the idea of this foundation? The idea of this foundation, Green Power and Water, is to bring the power with Omniflow, to get the clean drinking water through simple drinking water. We're also going to access things like laptops. Did you know that in Ireland, 150,000 laptops a month end up on landfill? So we can grab these laptops and we can take those to people who haven't got access to them. So now we've got our water, now we've got our power, now we've got our laptops. and then we provide some micro loans. So the whole idea is with the £3 water available from the use of these revolutionary devices, the business owner now has unlimited potential in terms of generating income, adding value to their communities, to their families, and also to people around them, and also changing things in the world. When I was listening to the lady from Sudan this morning to see what she's done and how they're changing things in the world, it just, change begins with us. We need to just think, don't get overawed by it all and say, it's all too much for me to do anything. All of us need to do something. And so this further translates into improved educational opportunities, much more efficient use of mobile phones if we've got them, and having this power source increase computer usage, so that's why we're going to get the laptops, and the possibilities are extensive when this is the real crunch, when communities are not reliant on electricity grid and on the infrastructure. Like some of them don't even have access to it. So that's what we're going to do with this foundation. We have people contributing quite a lot of money to it. We now have to choose the places that we're going to take this technology to. Thank you very much.
I'm Dr. Angelina from Zimbabwe. I am a chartered marketer by profession and a fellow in marketing. I work in CBZ Holdings, which is a financial services institution. So my perspective on this topic will be around financial solutions and also technology, because my professional journey, I think most of it has been within the financial services and technology sectors. So what brings me here is really my passion towards the social inclusion of the disenfranchised citizens of the world, particularly women and girl child empowerment. So I have that personal passion, and I'm using it even within our company to drive towards women's financial inclusion from a banking perspective. So to kickstart my presentation, I will share with you a few facts that I found quite interesting, which really show that women are the future of the economy. According to the 2014 Global Financial Index, 36% of women are less likely to access and use mobile phones, translating to about 1.9 billion women worldwide. And of those, 80% of the unbanked women are literally based in the peri-urban and rural areas. Globally, only 58% of women hold accounts in formal banking institutions, with 65% being men in developed countries and a widening gap in developed countries. According to McKinsey, there has been an estimate that full gender parity, if it's attained, will actually increase global GDP by $428 trillion in the next 10 years. The McKinsey Global Institute also found female financial inclusion as one of the 10 impact zones that are affecting the growth of developing economies from achieving gender parity. Women own 40% of the world's 340 million informal SMEs, with another 1/3 of the world's 40 million formal SMEs being owned by women. But Goldman Sachs estimates that 70% of these women-owned SMEs are actually underserved in terms of access to their credit, amounting to 285 billion credit gap. So what does that say? It tells us that closing this credit gap in developing countries could increase per capita GDP by 12% by the year 2030. Therefore, I believe that unlocking the potential and power of women will not only create a ripe and robust economy and growth capabilities, but it will actually influence the growth of the fourth industrial revolution. So how do I define womenomics? I would like to define it as harnessing the power of women through inclusion that can trigger growth of sustainable economic development. And the path to this is largely dependent on creating the right products for women from a financial perspective, taking the time to understand the unique needs of women, as well as making the regulatory environment also favorable to support the growth of women businesses. I know for a fact that women are visionaries, and once they've identified a strategic vision for their businesses, they have the potential of employing and embracing disruptive innovation that can actually catalyze future growth. Womenomics, therefore, is instrumental to achieving huge economic benefits if only financial institutions learned how to promote women to save, how to invest, how to borrow, and how to insure their businesses, because that is the gap that we've seen even within our studies as a financial institution. This will in turn enable women to better participate in the formal activities of the economy. What challenges did I pick as we will be trying to craft products for women? We have noticed that women have so many cultural issues that prevent them from actually accessing banking services. It could be restrictions. Yesterday, I sat in on a presentation from one of the women based in India that is doing social entrepreneurship. And because of the cultural constraints that don't allow women to leave the house and go and do some economic activity, she's had to rope in their husbands as well and their children as well. So that is a model that, is really, a challenge for most women. There's also limited access to funding related to issues of collateral. Ordinarily, in most economies, I'm not sure, but in our particular economy in Zimbabwe, there is still some inheritance issues where women are not the favored a lot in terms of inheriting parents' wealth, etc. So you'll find that things like land, property, is normally left to the male child as opposed to the female child. So it says when they want to then access funding, they actually don't have that level of collateral because of those issues. Another issue is we fail or we struggle as women to earn our respect in male-dominated structures, where even if you have value to bring to the table, it's always often clouded by a lot of negative talk. If you're a successful woman in a Fortune 500 company or a listed company, people will always find very weird reasons as to how you got to the top. They would either pair you up with the top bosses or claim that you're related to somebody, which is also another reason why there are very few women that have made it in the top echelons of big organizations. Another issue that I picked is the fact that because of our role as women and mompreneurs, I like to call it mompreneurs, because we are moms, we've got multiple issues that we run with, multiple responsibilities, which make it very difficult for us to balance professional livelihood, business focus, and also managing our families. So that's another issue that is actually tilting against the favor of women's economic growth. There's also an unconscious bias where men are still overly represented in boards and key roles. And only a small percentage of women have managed to penetrate that particular level. There's a gender pay gap, believe it or not, where in some companies, even if you're doing the same roles, as a woman, you tend to get paid a little less than our male counterparts. And there is also relatively lower income that women earn because we spend 90% of our time doing a lot of unpaid domestic work. Women have also been pigeonholed into certain sectors of the economy. You have to be a nurse or a teacher, Generally, you cannot be seen in engineering, in mining. Of late, I think over the past few years, there are women that have been daring enough to actually penetrate previously male-dominated sectors, which is a good step in the right direction. There is limited educational attainment. I think it's the same story in Asia as it is in Africa, where girls getting an education is considered to be frivolous in some areas. And ordinarily, if you're given an option to get bride price as opposed to taking your child to school, girls are married off very early and they are trained to be homemakers. Therefore, access to education for girls is still a challenge, particularly in Africa and in parts of Asia. I would like to think so. There is also a lack of adequate gender-inclusive credit reporting. There is not much data collected around women because financial institutions in themselves have failed to learn to understand the unique needs that women have. We want to have a cut and paste kind of product that we just take to the market, which may not apply to women. But in spite of all these challenges, I still believe that social inclusion for women is a must. Why I say that? Women have proven to be more reliable. If you look at even the women that we've lent out money to within the banking sector, 90% of them have actually honored their liabilities with the bank. Because normally when you give a woman money, she actually uses that money for the intended purpose, for the intended project. If you give the same amount of money to a man, apologies to the men folk, but in most cases you either buy a new car or get a new wife or something like that. So there's always diversion of that money, which then impacts on the revenue generating capacity of the man. And then it also makes them fail and become more of the reason why we have NPL loans in most financial institutions. Women also have a lot of resilience. I mean, all of us here, I mean, if you look at each of us, the strength, the inner strength of a woman is really determined by even the labor process that we go through just to give birth. I don't think that same kind of pain is given to a man that will be resilient enough to actually carry that. Because if they have even a flu, I call it man flu. You should see when my husband or my son gets a flu, it's like it's a critical issue. Everyone should bring soup, bring hot towels, etc. Women are also naturally very creative and innovative. We know how to stretch the dollar. We are basically in a lot of everyday money management that people don't realize how good at budgeting we are. If you notice in a household, when you give money to the woman, she stretches that money longer than when you give the same amount of money to a man who will probably pass through the bar, drink a few beers, and divert that money towards other things. Women are also quite responsible because we invest in the education of our children. A lot of women, particularly in my country, have actually survived and taken through children up to university level through vegetable vending, trade. We use the skills that are ingrained within us for sustenance. So I believe that if we scale up those skills in women, we can actually capacitate them to grow their economy and grow their businesses and commercialize to a large extent. Womenomics also allows women to achieve their full growth potential and contribute to the employment growth of nations and stimulate regional trade. I was in Bangalore last week and I got an opportunity to meet up with a woman through one of the banks, I think it was Axis Bank, that assisted this particular woman to get some funding. And she set up an employment service company where she's actually employing other women for cleaning services, for tea making, services within government and state-owned enterprises. And to date, she's employing 1,600 people. So you can see that if you capacitate a woman to also capacitate other women, not to do anything overly unique, just the basic cleaning services, and actually find contracts in those fields, it's another good step in the right direction. It is also critical to equip women with targeted capacity building programs. Women take longer to trust as opposed to men folk, because the little money that we have, we really need to know that we are not being fleeced. So I think financial institutions like ourselves need to get to understanding how we can package our products in a simple manner that makes it flexible for women to save and entrust us with our money, with their money. You will find, I think, the roster system, I think it's almost everywhere, where people actually, women actually give each other money. Initially, the roster started because women wanted to protect their income from their husbands. But now, when you look at the roster system, it has evolved into an investment platform for capital, because women actually borrow money from that revolving fund and they actually either furnish their homes or actually achieve a certain goal or even use that money as capital for their businesses. So I think as financial institutions, if we take the time to understand the informal savings model that women already have and scale it up and layer our products above it, I think we can actually capacitate women to grow. There's also another issue that makes a lot of women remain unbanked. Financial institutions, like I say, don't take the time to tailor-make products for women. If I created a product that talks to a maternity plant, perhaps, a lot of women would feel that it's something that has been created especially for them. If I created a sanitary wear loan, for example, or microloan or that capacitates women in a particular group. It's a pilot that we've done where we've actually looked at a few women groups and we have given them some startup capital to cater for a need that directly affects them and their daughters. Because in Zimbabwe, there is a huge percentage of girls that actually miss out on school due to health reasons, sanitary reasons. So you will find what we've done as a financial institution, we've linked the clients that we have on our books, particularly the schools and the hospitals, with these small women micro groups that are making the reusable pads. So when they supply the school, we actually facilitate payment, and they are actually quite confident that they will get their money. So it's another area that financial institutions can support women by providing those business linkages and saying, what clients do we have on our portfolio that need a service from these particular women? We also have women in farming that do soya bean farming, and yet on the same portfolio, we also have big companies that make cooking oil, the solar cooking oil. So what it means is if I link these women to supply their soya, they've got off-takers for their products. So I think that's the way financial institutions should also promote women to grow. There's also a need for banks to stop being a place that people go to being something that people do. There's a need to invest into a rural network coverage of women, because I feel that with the busy schedule that we spoke about earlier when I was talking about the challenges that women have, where you have to take care of your kids, you have to cook, you have domestic chores, you really wouldn't get time to leave that and go through to the bank. So it says the bank needs to come to where you are. And the best way for a bank to come to where you are is to identify opinion leaders within your community and make them agents for the bank. That way you're creating an income generating capacity for that woman who becomes motivated to onboard other women to take on the services. When you look at the fourth industrial revolution, it really will be hinged on social entrepreneurship, technology, innovation. So it says, as we are creating products for women, we need to make sure that we leverage on technology and the capacity that technology has to reach out to as many women as we can. The issue to do with collateral, like I mentioned, there's a collateral shortage. A lot of women cannot afford to have the required collateral. But what we can do is to look at group lending, where women can co-guarantee each other. If I have a cow and the next woman has a sewing machine and the next woman has a small machine, if we come together and put up those little bits of collateral, we can actually get a significant amount of funding from financial institutions if they just took the time to understand the needs of the women. Governments also need to support women in terms of policy changes. I think as governments, they also need to review certain policies and make them favor women. For example, if a government stipulates a certain percentage of accounts to belong to women for a certain rate, or give separate interest dispensations, maybe lower charges for women, you know, those kind of things that promote financial inclusion, it will make women economically independent. There's also some governments, like I was reading up on a case study from Pakistan in India, where the government has actually transferred most of its social security payments onto digital platforms. So the G2P payments are actually done on your phone. By just scanning your biometric, you're able to actually do that. So you'll find banks and the government should work together to support and promote women. Given that, my last in conclusion kind of words are, what do we as women, we've spoken about what financial institutions need to do to support us, we've spoken about what governments need to do to support us, but we also need to change the game and unleash our womenomic power. There are a few things that we need to do. We need to boldly change the status quo and stop being apologetic. We need to overcome our doubts that keep us from reaching to the top. We need to unpack our fears and conquer them. I think as women, some of us really have such a victim mentality, which we need to lose and start acting as though equality is a reality. I think once we take a vixen type of approach, it says we will not apologize for being in the roles that we are. We will not apologize for having the skills that we do, and we will not apologize for the value that we can bring to the table. I think as women, we normally expect people to really go over and above to accommodate us, but why not carve out our own space and go out there and get it? We also need to embrace technology and innovative solutions. There's a lot that we can do in terms of marketing ourselves, marketing our product, marketing our skills, and I think social media or the digital age that has come about is the right place that women have to be. There is no way you can be sitting in your community and putting a flyer on your gate or a little poster that says, this for sale. But the minute you put it on social media, I saw an interesting picture yesterday on Facebook of someone that put a plucked chicken, and they said for all your chicken requirements, you know, and then they boosted that post. And I was just looking at how many likes that chicken had, just an ordinary chicken. I think it had over 34,000 views and likes. So it shows us the power of social media and the power of technology that is driving the fourth revolution. So we need to be on social media. A lot of women still feel, culturally, I cannot be seen on Facebook. People who like me, people who flirt with me. But that is the way to grow your business in a scalable and economically viable way. So in conclusion, I think for the last conclusion, to the esteemed ladies here, the future is ours for the taking. Let's be bold enough to carve out a unique space for ourselves in the digital and social media era and grow our economic footprint as women. Let's redefine the basics of economics and embrace womenomics, which is a greater inclusive and gender inclusive economy that thrives on technology and social entrepreneurship. And I will continue to believe that womenomics is and will continue to be the bedrock for the next industrial revolution. Thank you.
So I'm Nina. I work in a lot of different fields. One field is energy, as in actually the energy world, in improving your own energy. But I also collaborate with a lot of my Italian friends because I think having studied in the country and having spoken the language, taught the language for many, many years, has given me the opportunity to collaborate with a lot of people in different sectors. Actually, that is what I'm here to do right now. I'm representing a company called Zero, which is a company from Sardinia in Italy. And it's run by a lady called Daniela Ducato, who's been a pioneer in innovation using technology for sustainability in all senses of the word. You must forgive me, I'll have to read because I have some data that has been sent to me by Daniela and I don't know the data by heart. So I will just read it. In her words, responsible innovation without geographical frontiers is good not only for the economy, for the health of everybody, the health of the planet most of all, and also for the development of fundamental rights for both men and women. And she is, there's this whole group of women in Sardinia which runs a network called Geminas, which work day in and day out to fight for gender equality, but they use peaceful methods. And I'm just going to be talking about some of them and some of the products that this company has come up with. So safeguarding health is the main focus of this company. And as Maggie had earlier on mentioned, that the most important mother that needs safeguarding currently is Mother Earth. And this is a company that is trying to give back to Mother Earth, trying to save Mother Earth, and also trying to correct the damage that has already been inflicted on Mother Earth by us in all these thousands of years. So Zero Productions is working to safeguard health, and their work has been recognized by the WHO, especially in the field of insulators and panels, which are 100% plant-based. They are born out of research in the industries in Sardinia, and they are environmentally healthy. They're also the fruit of interactions between different countries, some of them which were born right here in the WTF last year. So there is a current collaboration that is going on between India and Italy for hemp wool in textile. Also medical research that has been taken at global level from important works conducted by the Chinese Pediatric Association on the effects of pollution. Now, what is Edi Zero doing to increase effectively all the products that are made in Italy are ideated and produced at a very short distance from where they will be used. They are produced using renewable resources which are completely traceable to the origin. They do not contain war. Why they say they don't contain war is because they have zero petroleum, they have zero land grabbing, they have zero waste, and many, many other zeros actually. The whole idea is to safeguard the inseparable link that is there between agriculture and architecture, bringing together high technology, protecting the earth, and also the biodiversity. So, as she puts it in Italian, Sardinia is the isola che isola. If I were to translate it into English, it means it's the island that insulates. It doesn't give the same taste, but just to give you an idea. What does Sardinia do? It's one of the first land surfaces of Europe and the greenest region of Italy, with a heritage of woods and forests far superior to other areas. It can boast of the highest quantity and variety of excess of woodlands, agri-food, and minerals. Now, what has Edi Zero done? It has converted this richness of natural heritage and surplus into unique biomaterials, the only place to do so in the whole world. And here, the end materials become the raw materials to make certified products, which are, as I said earlier, completely traceable, zero polluting, and they won many, many awards for the quality and excellence of these products. So with Edi Zero, Sardinia has actually become known for the land to produce these insulating materials. These materials are produced using wool, hemp, cork, wood, all plant-based fibers, and they are certified by the ANAB and ICPA for being environmentally ethical. These products and technology for biobuilding are 100%, as I've already said, zero petroleum, zero carbon dioxide emissions, and also at a very, very short distance from where the material is taken. Another innovation that they have done is plants, they've used the agro-food chain, which produces a lot of waste. So all this surplus from the processing industry, not only food, also wood, raisin fibers, flowers, the leftovers of flowers, prunings, the non-edible parts of fruits, cereals, the bee culture, the wine-making industry. More than 100 ingredients which are used are not only zero land grabbing, zero soil and water waste. And that's another big plus of this company. Zero wastage of money and zero wastage of all the waste that we humans produce. So what is the most important ingredient? It is the combination, the communion of intelligence. There is a synergy between the products of Edi Zero, based on exchange of research from top-grade laboratories across the globe, reciprocal help, skill of workers. They tap into the abilities and industries that already exist, not in one central area, but all across the globe. They reach out to different people who can help. And this economy effectively generates innovative capacity, which saves public money and also the environment. More of that, it provides excellent products and the dignity of labor to each and every one. Equality of gender to do the work as per their capacity. It is concretized thanks to international relations with scientific research shared amongst people of different places of the world. And they wanted to remember Dr. Vincenzo Vigaledo, who passed away last month and who played a major role in fighting for the rights of health of people, especially women and children. The collaboration was born thanks to innovation at the service of health, keeping in view also the world as seen from the eyes of little boys and girls. They have worked with technology and scientific knowledge, also in earthquake hit areas where they started something called sustainable tourism, where they're using, they're trying to make it available to tourists to go to schools, to actually interact and talk with people. They are actually trying to educate right from the beginning little children in being responsible towards Mother Earth. So in India, of course, with this collaboration, there is a whole chain for use of hemp in textile. Now, Eddie Zero products have also been awarded a lot of awards. I'll just name a few of them. They have been awarded certificate for the maximum power to insulate thermically and also sound insulation. Something called Edilana Italian wool insulation. It has the highest power in the high density insulators, which are renewable. And not even a single fiber is synthetic. Everything is completely natural. They have Edi Canapa, which is Italian hemp insulation, and again it has the highest power amongst all high, medium and low density insulators. Again, all these have been certified to be ethically, environmentally friendly and ethical, following ethical practices. You have Edi Mare, which is Italian seagrass, and this has the world record for the highest thermic and insulating power in the world. It also has this certification. Then you have Italian cork insulation called Edi Zucchero, which is the first of its kind in the world. Then there are others which they've been awarded for zero wastage of food, of water, of energy, and all kinds of renewable successes that are there. Some of them, there is cover food Edelate, which is amongst the first of the types of paints made from agro products. They have been selected, in fact, for the Golden Compass Awards in 2018 for technologically developed innovations for materials and systems. Something called Edilate, which is the first water-free paint in the world. Now, usually if you have a 10 kg paint component, 1 kg is the component, 9 kg is water. That means there's a lot of use and wastage of water. In this, the same about 10 kgs, you save up to 90% of water. Therefore, you also save packing and space occupied to transport that paint. There have also been given awards in the world for saving water, air, as well as soil. They have something called Geolana or Geowool, which is again the first of its kind, geotextiles in the world, and they do not pollute. They are biodegradable, and therefore they do not really cause any pollution, in the air, in the water, in the soil. These are being used in the construction industry. We know today that the construction industry is one of the largest contributors to world pollution, right? So also in environmental engineering, in the health sector, in the agro-technical sector, and you also have agro-textiles. Someone was talking about agro-textiles. 100% renewable agro-textiles which are made using agricultural based products, and it causes a saving of water up to 60%. There is no use of obviously fertilizers. These are not carcinogenic products. There is zero radiation, there is zero rock wool usage, zero basaltic, mineral, asbestos. None of these products are used to produce the chain of products that any zero has to do. Also, there is zero animal cruelty, zero mineral fibers, I've already spoken of, zero combustions, and zero business for crime propagating syndicates. Because again, being zero petroleum, petrochemical, there is no zero land grabbing, none of these can be financed by these things. Then it is also the first in the world with something called distribuzione a chilometro scambiato, which means they do an exchange kilometer distribution. It means they are using a system of transport that is it has been created using a network of transport of materials, which does not allow actually the trucks to be coming back empty. And that means 75% of the transport costs and waste is reduced. They're also the only national and international distributor of these products using this kind of transport system. They also have intelligent and resilient packing systems. So they've come up with something called, zero water, zero plastic, reduced volumes by 60 to 90%, and therefore there's no wastage at the docks, at the warehouses. Wastage of packing materials that a lot of times products which are breakable, they have rolls and rolls of plastic around them. They are just simply doing it with recycled paper, and they've come up with something called Pressa Lana, which is something again that is patented. And this Pressa Lana is very compact. I'm still talking about insulators in the construction building. So they don't need any plastic packaging. And other things, there are lots and lots of products that are there. Of course, get in touch with Daniela, you can go and visit their website. Just to end, what I have to say is, what my friend Daniela always says is, for being able to innovate, you have to be able to evolve. Innovation should cause evolution. It is necessary that in this evolution there is harmony and equality between the male and the female contributors of the world. And that is the link that Heminas Network is doing in Sardinia. They fight for equal rights. They fight for dignity of labor. They also associate with something called the production of peace along with the Commune of Perugia and the University of Foreigners. I already spoke about the fact that they're trying to relaunch something from the heart of Italy called sustainable tourism. They've been recognized for this dedicated work that these fabulous women entrepreneurs have been doing in this line. They've come out with a beautiful calendar which has been brought about by a company called Lanza Sardinia, and they talk about one story every month. They talk about women entrepreneurs, which are, there are local experiences which have become global examples of how these women have fought and reached their heights. So that's it. The basis of evolution has to be innovation. The basis of innovation has to be evolution, and we have to work together, especially to bring about a change in the country, across the world, using technology that gives back to Earth, that stops creating further wastage and just gives back to Earth in every way we can. So, thank you everyone.
Questions?
Yeah.
Questions, comments?
I'd like to add something to your everyone's focus on energy. Yeah, I'd just like to add.
Just like to add something to everyone's comments about energy efficiency, because we've been running online projects regarding energy efficiency, and we have them available for free online, 9 topics that anyone can access anywhere in the world, where you can understand monitoring, measuring energy, understand energy efficiency, solar, etc. And with putting into place energy efficiency practices, just general ones, a small business or a household can lower their energy usage by anything from 20 to 40%. So this is there and available now, so anyone can give me their card and I will send you the links of how you can access them. But the power that you do have and the power that you do pay for, you can lower that so you're paying less and can monitor it. And it's sometimes difficult to get your head around how all these things work, but it's reality, and the woman in business needs to face up to it, and the woman at the household needs to face up to it as well. I also believe that I think availing renewable energy is also another gap where financial institutions. Okay, sorry. I also believe that availing renewable energy funding is another gap that financial institutions need to plug in. Because, for example, you will find, like I said, most of our women are in peri-urban areas, which are in some cases off-grid. So it says we need to now explore some of these renewable energy sources like solar, the wind energy, etc., to actually capacitate these women, because a lot of the women are into production, but not so much into processing. For example, they can farm peanuts, but will not have the capacity to have energy that runs a peanut butter making machine, so that they can actually process those peanuts, add value to those particular peanuts, and be able to sell them at a higher price because of the value addition. So I think you cannot talk about improving the economy without providing the energy, and I think renewable energy, which is more sustainable, is the way to go moving forward.
So I worked in the Ministry of Renewable Energy in India for 3 years, and currently I run an organization with farmers, with small-scale farmers, and it's very, so renewable energy, of course, like we look at big corporations and we're looking at big designs and big machines, but at the end of it, you have to customize the solution. And there is a session which we're conducting, I think post-lunch, we're talking about renewable energy and sustainable energy. It'd be wonderful if you came along. And the farmer actually needs income at the end of it. So the farmer will be able to afford your decentralized renewable energy, provided it's customized and it's made from local materials. So one thing is that any foreign bred technology needs to be customized when coming to India. Secondly, it needs to be appropriate, decentralized, small-scale technology, which is affordable at small-scale village level. So that's the only way you can actually scale up any project like peanut, right? So for example, one of our projects is working with coconut oil farmers. So we actually, I'm from Mumbai, so we actually have a cooperative, which we tied up with a cooperative, and we supply to some energy bar companies and different companies who actually use coconut oil in their end product. So we actually made an intervention there to actually see how renewable energy can be used in the coconut oil cold press production, right? So the smaller the intervention, the more beautiful it is and the more effective it is. Whereas, at least in decentralized energy, because when we were in the ministry, one of the key things is that a lot of projects fail because there was no ownership, and there was no income, and there was no livelihood. So you would have a government official who would come and just put like a solar panel with electricity, and the next day you found that the entire thing is uprooted and used for a wedding. Or it's been used for a television set in the village. But these are interesting stories. But all of you will go back and you all will be reading change-making stories. So really look at the requirement of the person, the stakeholder you're working with, and then customize the solution.
In fact, this company that I was talking about works at short distance.
Yes.
So it works with the locals. You have to start with the locals, use the resources available locally rather than transport them from one end of the world to the other. It's transport, money.
Yes. So that's it, I think. This brings to the end of the session. So we can have a group photograph.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Photograph.
Great, great, great.
photo. Take a simple photo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any more? There's quite a few. I need 2 hours. The head hospital.
एक सेकंड 1 second. Okay.
We get on this phone.
Wait, hold it. 1 second.
On the phone.
One second.
Kasi ka na.
Phone. Wait. Thank you. Someone do this. Thank you very much. If you can stick it on Facebook. Yeah. One more. Sorry. One more phone coming up.
कैमरा भी देख लो. Excuse.
Yeah. Okay. Which one are we looking at?
Wait. 1 second. Okay.